You're pushing people away because you're too perfect. Think of Superman, for example. Back in the day when Superman came out the first time, everyone was so excited about this superhero. He's the most overpowered one ever. He can fly with the speed of light, he can carry buildings and cars with his bare hands, he can smash every single enemy, shoot laser from his eyes. There is nothing stopping this guy. Everyone was so excited, like, yeah, it's so satisfying to watch this superhero beat everyone's asses up. They were in love with Superman. But after a while, the audience went down because people got bored with Superman. Everything was just so predictable. There was no one who could beat this guy, there was no one who could defeat Superman. Every single story would just go in the same direction. Superman wins. Easy peasy, there is no doubt about it because there is no one who can hurt him, right? So the author took some time to think about this and realized that, yeah, the fact that he's so perfect is not necessarily an asset. Like, people say that they like Superman, that they like how perfect and invincible he is, but that's not really true. And it's not that these people are lying. They're just unaware of the fact that they need a weakness in Superman. So then this guy went ahead and created this concept of a kryptonite, which is I don't really know what it is actually, some substance, some weapon that can hurt Superman. Maybe you can correct me in the comments if you know it better. And this kryptonite was the only weapon that could be used against Superman. When the kryptonite came into play, Superman became vulnerable. When Superman became vulnerable, things started heating up a bit. People were like, I don't really know what's gonna happen in this episode. I'm on the edge of my seat. Superman might be hurt finally. And they were excited about this, and it made them love Superman even more because now they had a pursuit. Now they had something that was not that predictable, not that boring anymore. Now you see, when we engage in social situations, we have this illusion that we have to be perfect, that being perfect is what's appreciated. You know how if you're perfect, if you're seeming like you're perfect, you get appreciation on social media, you get validation from others. But in the conversations, literally talking to other people, being so perfect and optimizing everything for perfection, that's a liability. Because just with as we discussed with Superman, people get bored of you. People can just predict what's about to happen every single time. One of the most important aspects of charismatic and funny people is their unpredictability. When you're unpredictable, you're very interesting and very funny. And people like that. People don't want certainty. Certainty is boring. They have certainty with their own lives all the time. They know themselves to perfection. They want to talk to other people to get something new, to get something uncertain. There is a lot of power in that uncertainty, and there is a lot of charm into it as well. Now, I know that you still want to be perceived as cool and, to have a great body language, to have the proper manners, to say the proper jokes every single time, to say the proper lines, right? You have this reputation that you need to get to in every single social situation. If your behavior is below the reputation, you feel bad. You feel like you need to do something to raise your level up above the reputation, or at least to this level. This reputation is only making you even more tense. When you have this tension in social situations, it makes it impossible for you to be more carefree, to flow more as you should. Because when you are in the state of flowing, when you are so careless, that's when you're gonna be unpredictable. Because an interesting thing about who's authentic is that they're unpredictable in their behavior, right? Authenticity is unpredictable, despite the fact that it might follow like a general, general series of steps and behaviors. Their micro behaviors are unpredictable. You can't really tell what they are about to say or do or think, because they are just going with the flow. They are careless. That's why they seem so special. They have this special aura as well. They allow themselves to flow more. They are not like the boring Superman that is just doing everything to perfection, not risking anything at all because there is nothing to risk for him. This is what you need as well. You need your kryptonite in your social life. Now, that doesn't mean you have to literally expose yourself and put yourself in danger in a life or death situation, in a situation where, I don't know, you do something really, really bad and you get the judgment from the entire planet. You don't have to do crazy stuff like that. But what you could do is you could open up about your vulnerabilities, and instead of being afraid of people's judgments, just embrace them, just self-amuse. Because what do you have to lose? You have some things that you're quite embarrassed about. Maybe it's some stories from the past, maybe it's a certain body part that you're not very proud of. You're trying to hide these things because you want to play it safe. You don't want to be like the Superman that everyone gets bored of. This could be the kryptonite, the safe kryptonite, if you learn to view it perfectly. Because you probably have a scarcity mindset right now. You probably think that if you were to expose that thing to others, then they would just reject you, judge you, bully you continuously because of that aspect of you, because they don't see you as perfect anymore. You are in danger because you're not perfect, but this is nothing more than an illusion. You are safe, and you are cooler if you show them that you are vulnerable. You know how those stories, those embarrassing stories from your past, they could turn into your go-to kryptonite. You could have a habit of employing these stories and talking about these certain stories around new people, and you're gonna win their trust through this. You could make this like even more manipulative tactics here and there, but I would even say there is no need for manipulation. You only need to be okay with being more vulnerable and understanding that showing these like character traits, these talking about these stories from your past, they cannot affect who you really are. Your ego wants you to believe that if people were to know about these things, then you are exposed, you're done, your reputation is ruined. That's not gonna be the case. Nothing is going to change in your life. You have these secrets that you're keeping in a locked prison cell in your head, and you believe that if you were to put them out there, it will be over for you. In fact, nothing would change. The only change that's gonna occur, the only negative change, is your perception of it. Because your ego will trigger you. Your ego will always whisper in your ear like, it's not safe. Why did you do this? You bastard, why did you do this? It's gonna shout at you. You will get panicked. You will slightly lose control in the moment. But on a greater scale, if we zoom out and we view this in perspective, nothing changed to the worse. But for the better, there are lots of changes actually, because people now kind of respect you at least a bit more. And if you iterate through this for long enough, then they respect you even more and even more and even more. And if you learn to show your vulnerabilities even more, then you get to be more carefree, then you get to flow more, then you get to the kryptonite version of Superman. And that's what people want. And again, it's not only about what people want from you, but it's about you respecting yourself. If you had the level of self-esteem and confidence that you had when you were a baby, you would be like that already. You wouldn't fear the shallow judgments of people you don't really care about anyway. And now the goal for you is to get to the point where you don't have that optimization algorithm inside your mind, that overthinking that's constantly trying to make you look even more perfect and even cooler. You are just flowing, you are embracing everything. That's the mindset you need to get sort of like a kryptonite that's continuous, right? Not only a certain piece of tactic there, a tactic there that you can just employ whenever you need to. if you get to the point where you are flowing, you have the automatic default kryptonite that people love. And your social experiences will just get so much better. All of them. Now, if you want my personal help through this journey, finding your kryptonite and embracing it with bravery, I have a link in the description and you can book a free one-on-one call with me and I'll get you through this process personally. I've been